Okay, welcome to my show here. I'm so pleased to have you here. My name is Ange, and I'm a business coach, and I help people to transition from a full-time job to creating their own online business. Now, one of the questions I get asked quite a bit is, how do you remain constant or consistent on social media? How do you even know what to post? I get students that say, I've got no idea what to post. There's nothing that comes to mind. I can't do this day in, day out. So that's what I want to cover today. I want to talk about how to create ideas for content so that you will never run out of content again, and then how to manage your time so that you're not overwhelmed by the amount of content that you've just come up with, and how are you going to produce that. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're talking about how to generate content ideas first. All right. So how do you generate content ideas, right? First, what you want to do is you want to decide what are the key topics you're going to talk about around your business. What do you want to be known for? What do you want people to know that you're going to be talking about? So if you're familiar with LinkedIn, for example, on the LinkedIn profile, you get to put hashtags around the topics you talk about. And it will say at the top of your profile, this person talks about these topics. So you want to decide what topics you're going to talk about and choose between 3 to 6. 3 is the minimum, but 6 probably the maximum, 6 or 7. I think I've done 7 in the past. Or think of how to group some together. If you've got more ideas, think of the buckets you're going to put them in. So you want to create, let's just say, just for the sake of this example today, we're going to say you're going to create 3 different main topics, 3 buckets of content, right? So that's what you need to decide first. What are those buckets of content that you are going to talk about all the time? And that's all you're going to talk about in your business. Then what you want to do, step 2, is you want to then brainstorm 20 to 50 topics under each of those ideas. So if you have 3, you want 20 topics under number 1, 20 topics under number 2, 20 under number 3. So that means you'll have 60 topics to talk about. All right. And if you do 50, you'll have more. If you have more buckets, you'll have more content. But what you want to do is just brainstorm ideas. At the moment, it's just brainstorming. You're not, married to these ideas. You just want to come up with as many as you can. And you'll find if you put pen to paper, don't do it on keyboard, put pen to paper and just take some time just to brainstorm. You'll find that loads of things will come out. All right. And you're not going to use them all, but just don't edit at that stage. Just let all the ideas come out so that you have loads and loads of ideas to talk about. Okay. So that is what you want to do. So then you say, by the time you've done that, just say, for example, you have 3 topics and you've got 20 ideas under each that you're going to use. That will be 60 topic ideas. And that will be, if you're posting once a day, Monday to Friday, that's 3 months worth of content right there and then. Okay, 3 months worth of content that you've just come up with the ideas for. All right, so next, what you need to do is, I'll talk about the creating of the content later, but just imagine you've created those 60 pieces of content. You've got them all created and you're putting them out every day. When it comes to those 3 months finishing, you don't want to then start reinventing the wheel and start thinking of new content to put out. You want to repurpose that content you've already used. It's already there. It's good content, stuff that you can already use, and just put it out in a different format. So say, for example, in quarter 1, you took topic 1 and you made that a video. Then in the second quarter, you can make it a blog, or you can make it a podcast, or you can make it just a static post, or you can even just take a quote from it and put a quote up. There's so many different things you can do, and there's different ways that you can repurpose your content. You don't, now that you've got those 60 topics, you don't want to keep reinventing. Okay. So that's the next thing to do. And then I only had 3. Okay. I've only got 3 things there. And then if you're stuck, use ChatGPT. right? Everybody's doing it. Why not? And the thing is about ChatGPT is it just saves you so much time. You just become so much more productive if you do this. So what you want to do, you only get out of ChatGPT what you put in, right? So if you put rubbish in, you're going to get rubbish out. But if you put the right prompts in, you're going to get the right things out. So for example, if you said, you typed into ChatGPT this prompt, list out 50 topics I can talk about around, and then give you a main topic, so I come across as an expert. Okay, and then you'll see ChatGPT will it'll generate you 50 ideas worth of content, and then you can look at those ideas and filter through what you think is relevant for you and what is not. You don't have to use everything ChatGPT tells you to use, but it'll give you some ideas that you maybe hadn't thought of before, and that will be really handy for you. All right, so that's the way to generate the content, generate the ideas for the content. Then obviously you have to make that content yourself. Okay. And now that you know what to post, how do you make time for it? This is the thing. How do you make time to do all of this? Because it does take time to make content. So you need to be really strategic about how you're creating your content. And that's why I wanted to put this video up. This is to save you from just putting any old thing up, or rubbish, or just things, or just posting things when you feel like it, or when something, an idea suddenly springs to mind. So you want to have ideas that are constantly there, that you can just pick from. You've got a whole library of stuff to pick from. And then, of course, what kind of things are you going to create in terms of the ideas, other than what ChatGPT has given you, what you've brainstormed? You want to be thinking about, okay, when I'm thinking about brainstorming these ideas, what is it that people always ask me? All right. So especially if you're already coaching, you're training, you're teaching people, what do they ask you? What do they get stuck on? You can create content on what generally, well, that will add value, because if it's what they get stuck on, it's what a lot of people get stuck on. So you can create content around that. You can also mix in with all of this testimonials from clients. You can tell your stories, your brand stories. I would also create a library of stories of things that have happened to you that you can interject into any situation at any time, that will kind of help to bring a point across. Any experience you've had in the past, can be funny experiences, can be serious, whatever, but it's something that helps you to illustrate a point. Rather than you trying to think of things on the fly, if you create a library of stories, you've always got something to say. You've always got a story to tell. And I'll do another video about storytelling a lot later on. Okay, so how do you make time for it? This is the thing. And this is the key to keeping things consistent. So one of the things that stops people being consistent with their content is they don't have enough content to post. They can't think of what to post, and they're consistently trying to reinvent the wheel with things to post. And the other thing is they just can't find the time to do it on a consistent basis. So it becomes a second thought in a lot of cases. All right. So let's go through how we can make time for this. So first, you need to decide how often you will post. Are you going to post once a week? Are you going to post once a day? Are you going to post 3 times a day? None of those are wrong. You can choose whatever you want, and it will depend on your commitment level. What do you feel that you can do right now? So if you feel that you can only do 1 post a week, then just do 1 post a week, and people will grow to expect that 1 post a week, and that's fine. But if you commit to doing 3 posts a day every day, and then suddenly you find that you can't commit to that, and you start missing days out, it's going to be quite evident that you're not able to live up to your promise of the 3 posts a day. So do what you feel you can do. You can always increase it later on, but just start with what you can realistically think you can do, so that you start off on the right foot. So you just want to work out first how often you're going to post. So then you'll know how many posts you'll need for the quarter, for example. Then you want to decide the form of content needed for the platform you've decided you'll show up on. Now, don't also make the mistake and you're just putting too much stress on yourself if you decide you want to show up on all the posts, right? You don't want to do that because, again, you're just stretching yourself too thin. You're giving yourself too much to do. And the reason being is each platform requires different formatting for posts. Different types of posts do better on one platform than another. So you're going to have to factor that in as well. So it's better that you focus on one platform to start off with, get really good on that platform before you branch out onto other platforms. And then look at what that platform is, look at the type of content that it demands, what's popular on that the popular type of content, and create that kind of content for that platform. Okay. Number 3, decide if you want to create content daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, I'm not saying posting here, I'm saying creating, because your posting, it will take care of itself eventually, but you need to be able to make all this content. So you need to decide, what am I going to do in terms of putting this content out? When am I going to create it? Am I going to make a block of time daily? Am I going to make a block of time weekly or monthly? So what you can do is, if you decide you're going to do it daily, set a time every day. Just say, for example, it's going to be a blog, and you've decided you're going to blog every day, as an example. You would then put in your calendar a time to get that blog done. And you make sure you do that every day. And that's booked into your calendar like you would book in with a client. And you turn up for yourself, you show up on that appointment for yourself to write that blog, and you publish that blog, and you arrange to do that every day. All right. So that's one way to do it, is you just arrange time every day to create the content you want to create. It doesn't have to be a blog. It can be just a social media post or whatever, right? Or you decide you want to create weekly. You're going to block out some time weekly, maybe half a day, every week, where you're going to create 5 pieces of content, 1 for each day of the week. Or if you decided to go 3 times a day, that means you've got to create 15 pieces of content in that half day. Okay, work out what it is you can create within the time frame and get used to that, get adjusted to that, and then again block that into your calendar and stick to it every week. That every week you're going to set aside a slot of time where you are going to create your content. Okay, or you could decide to do it monthly or even quarterly. I know some people that do it quarterly or monthly, where again you block out obviously a bigger chunk of time. You block out a great big chunk of time and you say, right, I'm not going to be disturbed at this time. Every month I'm going to do my content on this day every month, and I'm going to post it out, then schedule it for the rest of the month. Okay, or you do quarter, and then you've got nothing to think about for the next quarter, right? So it depends what you are comfortable with in doing this. Okay, but then when you've decided what you're doing, then try to stick to it so that you are consistent. Next on step 4 is you want to publish direct to the platform. Try to avoid going to these tools where they publish to multiple platforms and schedule them all for you down the line. You want to try and schedule or publish directly onto the platform you're going onto. And a lot of these platforms have a scheduler inside the platform themselves. So if you're using Facebook, for example, you can schedule your posts on Facebook. If you're using LinkedIn, you know, when you go to publish your post, you're given the option. Do you want to publish it now or do you want to schedule? So you can choose to schedule. So you can schedule content ahead of time. So if you decided to do a week in advance, you've got your week's worth of content. You go into, say, for example, it's LinkedIn. You go in and you create your post and you press schedule and you decide what day you want that to go out on, what time. And you do the same for all the other posts. So you have them all scheduled. Do the same if it's monthly, and you know, again, if it's every day, you're probably going to schedule straight away. Okay. So that is publishing your content then on the platform. And then step 5 is be around on the platform at the time of posting to react to engagement that you get. So it's good to be around at the time when the post goes out. When people start to react to it, you can then react to them. That will push your post out further as well. When it gets more engagement, it will go further. And it's like a snowball, it will snowball along, right? All right, so that is basically that around creating your content. All right, so that's all I've got for you on that today. So I hope that's helped in terms of helping you to be consistent on your posts. It's something that is useful. You don't want to have this as your only strategy for bringing leads into your business. This is more, when you're doing these posts, it's more for brand awareness. It's more to get people to know who you are. Yes, you will get some inquiries coming in, but it's not going to be the be all and end all unless you decide to do a full organic strategy where you will do outreach based on the reactions you get. So you're not going to get so much of leads coming in that are going to buy from you or interact with you immediately. You need to get in touch with them and build a relationship with them. The other way around is paid advertising, which is what I tend to do most of. I just find so much value. You're running a business, you're expected to advertise, you're expected to invest in your business, and you're going to invest in time or money, one of those two. I would recommend you do both, but you should, when you have the funds available, do some paid advertising because it will be so much quicker for you to get results with the paid advertising. But if at the moment you can only do organic, then do it this way and show up. As well as having these scheduled ones, you want to then just show up ad hoc every now and again, just on a live or just to show you're there and respond to other people's comments during the week as well. All right. So I hope that's helped. And just let me know how you get on. As I say, I'm Ange. I'm the Work From Anywhere coach. And you can look me up at angedove.com. That's my website. And just get in contact with me if you've got any questions around this. I look forward to hearing from you.